Step into a home where checks and roses meet like old friends, sharing the same quiet language of comfort and charm. The air feels gentle here, the light soft and golden, as if every corner has been waiting patiently to tell its story. This is a cottage dream made for warm hearts and peaceful eyes. In this opening scene, the space welcomes you with a tender balance of pattern and bloom, where cozy textures and romantic details create a feeling of calm delight. Nothing feels rushed or loud. Instead, the room seems to breathe slowly, inviting you to settle in and stay a while, wrapped in a feeling of home. If you love cozy cottage beauty, subscribe for more dreamy decor inspiration, like this video, and leave a comment telling us which detail you would bring into your own home. Let this gentle journey begin with softness, sweetness, and a little touch of vintage magic. The first impression begins at the threshold, where soft checks and blooming roses greet every step with gentle charm. The entry feels intimate and comforting, as though the home is offering a quiet smile before the rest of the story unfolds. Every detail whispers warmth, grace, and a sense of lived-in beauty. Here, a simple passage becomes something memorable through layered fabrics, vintage accents, and delicate color harmony. The patterns do not compete. They dance together softly, creating a welcoming rhythm that feels both familiar and lovingly styled. It is the kind of space that makes guests slow down without even realizing it. As you move forward, the atmosphere carries a sweet cottage feeling that is both practical and enchanting, perfect for a home filled with comfort and heart. If this gentle entrance inspires you, keep watching for more cozy rooms and let your imagination wander through every blooming detail. The living room opens like a soft embrace, where checks and roses come together in a scene that feels both timeless and tender. The space glows with quiet warmth, and every cushion, throw, and floral detail seems placed to invite rest, conversation, and gentle living. A cottage heart lives here, where layered patterns and romantic textures create a room that feels full without feeling crowded. The eye drifts easily across the wide space, resting on vintage touches, soft upholstery, and natural light that adds a calm golden hush to the entire setting. This is the kind of room where everyday moments feel more beautiful, where tea tastes sweeter, and where the simple act of sitting down becomes part of the charm. The checks bring structure, the roses bring softness, and together they create a cozy story worth lingering in. By the window, the cottage reveals one of its softest secrets, a nook wrapped in sunlight and floral calm. Checks and roses mingle here in the gentlest way, catching the light and turning a simple corner into a place that feels tender, restful, and quietly beautiful. The wide window view gives the room a sense of breathing space, while layered curtains, patterned cushions, and delicate accents soften every line. It feels like a place made for morning tea, slow reading, and listening to the quiet rhythm of the day as it moves through the house. There is something deeply comforting about this corner, where the light does not rush but drifts, and every detail seems to rest in peace. The roses add sweetness, the checks add familiar charm, and together they create a little haven that feels lovingly lived in. The dining space gathers the whole feeling of the cottage into one gentle moment, where the table becomes a place of warmth, memory, and everyday grace. Checks and roses soften the room with a familiar charm, making even a simple meal feel beautifully cared for and deeply comforting. Around the table, the wide room seems to hold its breath in a cozy way, letting the natural light fall across fabric, wood, and floral accents. The result is a scene that feels inviting and unhurried, as though every meal here begins with a small sense of celebration and ends with quiet contentment. This is cottage dining at its most lovely, where vintage details and soft pattern pairing create a space that welcomes both family and solitude. It feels practical, heartfelt, and sweetly elegant all at once, like a room designed to slow time down and make ordinary moments feel special. The kitchen feels like the quiet heartbeat of the cottage, where checks and roses bring softness to a space built for daily living. Every shelf, curtain, and tabletop detail carries a humble beauty, turning routine moments into something warm, familiar, and gently memorable. Light moves across the room in a tender way, touching the textures of fabric, wood, and ceramic with a calm glow. The wide interior view makes the kitchen feel open and comforting, while the pattern pairing adds just enough charm to make the space feel lovingly designed without losing its natural ease. Here, the cottage spirit is practical and sweet, full of small details that make the home feel cared for. It is a place where simple tasks feel softer, where beauty lives quietly in the background, and where the harmony of checks and roses gives everyday life a little more grace. The bedroom settles into the home like a whispered lullaby, wrapped in checks and roses that soften every edge. The room feels restful and intimate, with a quiet sweetness that makes the whole space seem designed for slow breathing, gentle evenings, and peaceful beginnings to each new day. Layers of fabric, floral touches, and cozy textures gather around the bed, creating a nest of calm that feels both delicate and secure. Wide natural light moves softly through the room, giving the space a dreamy warmth and a sense of comfort that feels deeply personal and lovingly cared for. In this sanctuary, the cottage spirit becomes especially tender, as if the room itself knows how to protect quiet moments. The checks add a familiar, homey rhythm, the roses bring romance, and together they create a bedroom that feels like a soft place to rest the heart. The reading corner feels like a tiny retreat tucked inside the cottage, where checks and roses soften the silence into something warm and welcoming. A chair, a cushion, and a small table become enough to create a world of calm, where the eye can rest and the heart can wander slowly through the room. Wide soft light gathers in the space, touching the fabric and decor with a gentle glow that makes everything feel serene and lived in. The patterns bring a friendly rhythm, while the floral details add a romantic hush, turning this quiet corner into a place that seems made for thoughtful pauses and easy comfort. It is the kind of nook that invites you to stay a little longer, to turn one more page, or simply breathe in the peace of the room. The cottage feeling is quiet but full of life, and the checks and roses together create a storybook atmosphere that feels tender and deeply human. The cottage comes alive through simple handmade touches, where checks and roses become part of a story built with care and imagination. Small DIY details can soften a room in beautiful ways, adding personality without losing the gentle, comforting feeling that makes the home so inviting. In this space, creativity feels peaceful rather than complicated, and every budget-friendly addition seems to carry a little heart with it. Wide shots reveal how layered textiles, painted accents, and thoughtful repurposed pieces can transform a room into something warm, personal, and full of quiet charm. That is the beauty of cottage decorating. It does not ask for perfection, only sincerity. The checks bring a grounded rhythm, the roses bring sweetness, and the DIY spirit ties everything together in a way that feels cozy, honest, and wonderfully lived in. As the seasons shift, the cottage changes in the softest way, keeping its checks and roses but adding little touches that reflect the mood of the moment. A new pillow, a lighter curtain, or a handful of seasonal accents can refresh the room without losing its calm and welcoming spirit. The beauty of this kind of styling is how naturally it blends change with comfort. Wide interior views reveal a home that still feels familiar, yet somehow newly awakened, as light, texture, and color come together to create a gentle sense of renewal and ease. This is where cottage living feels especially tender, because even small changes can make the heart of the home feel alive again. The checks hold the room steady, the roses keep it romantic, and each seasonal update adds another quiet layer of charm. Now the full cottage comes into view, and the checks and roses settle together like they were always meant to belong. Every room seems to speak the same language of warmth, softness, and gentle charm, creating a home that feels balanced, inviting, and deeply comforting. The final reveal is not loud or dramatic. It is peaceful, layered, and full of quiet beauty. Wide interior shots show how each detail supports the next, from patterned fabrics to floral accents, and the whole home glows with a kind of harmony that makes you want to stay just a little longer. This is the heart of the cottage story, where simple styling becomes a tender expression of comfort and love. If you have enjoyed this warm romantic home tour, like the video, subscribe for more dreamy decor ideas, and comment below with your favorite room from this Checks and Roses cottage haven. As this cottage story comes to a close, the Checks and Roses remain like a gentle memory, leaving behind a feeling of warmth that lingers in the heart. The home feels complete, softly layered, and deeply comforting, as if every detail was chosen with care to create beauty that feels both personal and lasting. This final moment is not an ending, but a quiet invitation to carry the feeling forward into your own space. Let the charm of cottagecore, the sweetness of florals, and the calm rhythm of cozy textures inspire your next decorating idea, whether it's small or grand, simple or dreamlike. If you enjoyed this warm romantic home tour, please subscribe for more dreamy decor inspiration, like the video, and comment below with a room or detail you love most. Your support helps Dreamy Decor keep sharing budget-friendly, beautiful spaces filled with heart and imagination.